There's great danger for the loneliest.
In the spirit of Woodward and Bernstein, CNN tracked down the dude who posted the Trump wrestling video. Now imagine if CNN went after violent rioters and looters the way they go after a crude prankster. Apparently the guy posted some pretty bad stuff in the past, but come on, CNN, you're starting to creep us out. Starting. In an article boasting about their scoop, CNN said they wouldn't publish the guy's name because he had already apologized, and also because he promised he wouldn't do it again. But then CNN adds they reserve the right to publish his identity should any of that change. That's crazy. So a network pursues a guy over a joke about them. Then after he's spooked, they grant him safety unless he misbehaves. How Corleone? We won't hurt you unless you cross us. Again, this isn't some violent thug who burned down a bodega. It's a guy who teased a network. Why would CNN do this? Is it to keep others from making fun of them? Yeah. In a statement, CNN claims the guy apologized before speaking to the reporter, as if being contacted initially by CNN wasn't the catalyst. Then they added conditions based on the guy's behavior. This is sinister, vindictive stuff. Whether it's trying to get Donald Trump tossed off Twitter or threatening to expose someone who hurt their feelings, CNN is now the shrill scold who can't bear being the butt of jokes. They're the old guy in an open robe shouting, "Get off my lawn." Actually, it's worse. CNN's that weird neighbor you got to invite to your party, because if you don't, he'll call the cops. CNN, the #1 name in lose.
Oof, that's good.
What drives me crazy, Kimberly, is how proud they were last night when they were announcing this scoop that they got this guy, that a multi-billion-dollar company found this little worm and plucked him out of the ground and crushed him.
It's unbelievable, right? I mean, this is like, okay, how do we make this really bad? It was already bad for us, but how do we just go all the way? Just like, wow, we just destroyed ourselves. Okay, so now they're HNN. Humorless News Network.
Right.
Like, you're scared of a wrestling video with like a CNN blockhead dancing around. I've never even heard of anything like this. It's so nuts, right?
Yeah. No, it's
and then
crazy.
you publish that to be like, dude, we're awesome.
Yeah.
And then it's like, we're threatening people, we're blackmailing people, we're like, we're going to shut you down.
No,
I don't understand. They watch too many Godfather reruns.
Jesse, they're holding this over this guy's head. The whole thing is, they kept beating this dead horse of a meme, and then the dead horse reanimated and beat them back. It was like, oh, we're even going to take this further. Spend money on this.
That's right. Let's be honest. It's a logo that was getting beat up. It wasn't Wolf Blitzer's face.
Good point.
It was like a cartoon. It's slapstick.
Yes.
Nothing was being incited. I think CNN's drunk with power, but they think they have righteousness on their side, and they're not. They don't get to play judge, jury, and executioner with American citizens. And they're hypocrites, too. I mean, did CNN ever track down the ATF agents that sold guns to Mexico?
No.
The IRS agents that were just screwing around in Cincinnati?
Can't find them.
No, you can't find them. Were they outraged when Maxine Waters said she was going to, like, take a piece out of Ben Carson's ASS? Or when the Democrats had Paul Ryan push Granny off a cliff? They didn't care then. So Trump comes over here, exposes them. They're the emperor with no clothes all of a sudden. Nothing was incited. The only thing that's actually been incited are Democrats shooting Republicans.
Yeah. Juan, this guy was a private citizen. He was concealing his identity. True. He was posting bigoted stuff. But he's still a private citizen, and threatening him with outing because he has these opinions is kind of creepy, don't you think?
I agree. I think it's way over the line. And you know what's interesting? I was writing about this because it was 4th of July, and I'm a big free speech advocate. And I just happen to think that too often big companies now are in position where they're the ones who determine what's legitimate speech in America because of their power in terms of advertising and voice, like what happened at the Julius Caesar play, for example. But here, what's interesting to me about this one is, you know, there are people who go online and say the most awful things about not only the president and public officials, but the people around this table. They say horrible things.
Not about me, though.
Oh, you're a sweetheart. Yeah, because you only get the trolling from San Francisco. But like the Anti-Defamation League said this guy for 18 months had been saying things like, oh, it's a Jewish cabal that runs CNN. Oh, and what about those N-word people and nasty things about... This is not some sweetheart of a guy.
Yeah.
But everybody, including me, ran to defend him and say, hey, CNN, you went over the line. but including Donald Trump Jr., who said he was a 15-year-old, made it seem all the more egregious. In fact, he's no 15-year-old. He's an adult man, and he should be apologizing.
But the interesting thing is the age thing is actually irrelevant because the reporter didn't know that until he chased the guy down.
Right.
Dana, CNN has made a huge mistake, and if you go on Twitter now, there's nothing but CNN memes because once you expose,
Why they say don't feed the trolls.
Yeah, but once you,
this is why you don't do it.
Yeah, if you expose your weakness, say if I tell you guys I don't like seafood, the first you guys do is you start eating shrimp.
Eat shrimp in the green room.
But that's
Water. But remember, like when your cousin would like, basically hit you in the head, like, why do you keep hitting yourself?
Right, yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm not hitting but that's what they were doing. If they would have just said, well played, Mr. President, how's your health care bill going?
Yeah.
Right? Like, that would have been fine and like that could have dealt with that news cycle. But the thing that amazes me about this is that the punishing of the artist, no matter who they are. So I was saying in the green room that, remember the Benghazi video maker? Mm-hmm. So the Obama administration, the government in that case, tracks down this guy who made a video, which was his right to do, and they put him in jail for based on some sort of like whatever the parole violation.
No, it wasn't even probation violation. You don't go to jail.
And he was in jail forever.
Yeah. He was, and that was basically instead of blaming terror, blame a video. Instead of just taking your lump with this, you go after to find some kid. And it doesn't even matter who does the meme. The meme has a life of its own. That's what happens in the internet. You don't know where it comes from.
And you don't think Trump is going to now retweet a bunch of these He's probably got a bunch in the hopper right now ready to go.
Did you see the Breitbart one with the Andrew Breitbart? Was unbelievable.
But I'm curious, you guys don't see anything wrong with Trump posting this video, this juvenile video?
Come on, Jon Stewart made fun of Republicans for years, and CNN just kissed his butt. And then all of a sudden, Trump mocks CNN and they're outraged? Come on.
The President of the United States puts out, I mean, you know, it's just to me seemed like he was sticking it to CNN.
It's modern-day presidential one.
Hang on. Sticking it to American media. You've had... I forget what state it was, the candidate, the special election, was it Kansas or something?
Georgia?
But
who slammed
that's my point.
the report
That's actually,
Montana?
and actually, you're
Wrestling's
supporting my
fake
point.
one, by the way.
That wasn't
real.
fake.
He's
When he's
supporting
body
my
slammed
point.
that
Listen,
reporter, that wasn't
Dana,
fake.
women everywhere are going to scream at you guys for not letting us talk.
You
okay,
look down.
Yes.
What you're saying is that that CNN should basically have taken it seriously.
Yes.
But in order to take it seriously, but to play the game in the new modern day presidential, you got to flip it around. You got to keep it funny and make that person then have to be on their heels trying to explain something. If the president says he actually really wants to talk about policy and he's frustrated that the media won't cover it, yes, he's giving them things to do, but turn it back around on him and make him answer those policy questions.
What if CNN, not speaking of CNN, but just as a media person, what if they took it seriously? They don't like being the target of that kind
Well, look, we work at Fox News, and we're no stranger to being targeted for ridicule.
Get some thicker skin.
Imagine if we did that and behaved like that. Like, everyone takes shots at us all day long. And guess what? Fantastic.
By the way, we're going to...
CNN stepping on the throat and the neck of the First Amendment here.
I didn't see President Obama throwing us on the ground and
man, he mentioned FNC all the time.
He talks about us all the time.
But he wasn't trying to be funny about it.
No,
Trump was being funny.
He was throwing shade at us left and right.
He also tapped Jane Rosen's phone, too, so he was targeting us a little bit.
The other thing, too, about this story, CNN, according to the Daily Wire, may have actually targeted the wrong person. This might not be the original. The guy originated the meme. So they're going after the wrong guy. Apparently, allegedly, I just got two
Call the
sources.
Innocence Project.
All right. Is CNN guilty of a crime for threatening to identify the anonymous creator of the video? Ted Cruz, remember him?
Yeah.
Dashing young fellow. Opening the law books on that possibility. That's next.